The NBA is a league where its best players are constantly changing teams, and players have control of their futures more than ever. If a player is upset with their current situation, they can force their way out via trade. On the other hand, some players are still traded by their respective teams due to a variety of reasons, with money being a key factor. The 2021-22 offseason should be no different when it comes to head-turning moves, as there are quite a few stars that could be changing their addresses for the next season. Welcome to another episode that promises to be as exciting as ever. You know how we do it, guys. Please help us grow by liking our videos and, most importantly, subscribing to the channel. Some of these NBA players were discussed as possible trade candidates ahead of the NBA trade deadline this season, only for their deals to fall apart because of multiple issues. There are also star players that it's apparent that they aren't a fit for their current team anymore, which could lead to a divorce. Given the financial situations of the specific teams, along with the team's current chances of competing, there are a few names to keep an eye on when it comes to possible trades this summer, because a lot of the deadline deals will be more about moving money around, shredding it, or taking it on to get picks and young players. However, there are a few potential game changers out there. Maybe not the kind of mind-blowing blockbusters we have come to expect, but certainly trades that can shift the balance of power among contenders. It's evident that there could be a handful of guards that put on a new uniform when the 2021-22 season tips off. Get your NBA trade machine out. Here's a look at some of the trade rumors that could change the league this coming summer. Cleveland Cavaliers to be active in looking to trade the number 3 pick. The downtrodden Cavaliers have a young core that includes Colin Sexton and Darius Garland in the backcourt, as well as the likes of Isaac Okoro and Jarrett Allen in the frontcourt. What Cleveland is missing is a true star player. That could change now that the Cavaliers have landed the number 3 picks in the 2021 NBA draft. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski notes that the Cavs are going to be aggressive in looking to deal the 3rd pick for a proven veteran as the way to expedite the rebuild. In the draft preview for the Cavaliers, it focused on Ben Simmons as a potential option and a trade with the Philadelphia 76ers. That hypothetical trade would require Cleveland moving the 3rd pick and the bloated contract of Kevin Love for the 28th selection and Simmons, among other moving parts. Detroit Pistons willing to listen to offers for the number 1 pick. It's pretty much a consensus that Oklahoma State guard Cade Cunningham will be the 1st pick in the 2021 NBA draft. Whether it's the Pistons making that selection remains to be seen. Up-and-coming general manager Troy Weaver would not rule out the possibility of moving down from 1 following the draft lottery. There's a good reason for this. A move down the board could still net the Pistons someone like stud wing Jalen Green or big man Evan Mobley while picking up a ton of draft assets. There's also a question about Cunningham's fit with the Pistons after they selected fellow ball-dominant guard Killian Hayes, number 7 overall in the 2020 NBA draft. Ben Simmons' trade value for the Philadelphia 76ers. Fresh off their ugly Game 7 loss to the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference semifinals, the 76ers are going to have to change things up this summer. That will more than likely include trading 3-time All-Star Ben Simmons, who was absolutely atrocious during the playoffs. How bad was Simmons? He attempted all 3 shots in the 4th quarter during the 7-game series loss to Atlanta. Reports now suggest that Simmons' trade value is at an all-time low despite being an NBA Defensive Player of the Year finalist in 2021-22. Add in an inability to shoot free throws, an NBA playoff worst 34% mark in 2020-2021, and it's hard to imagine Philadelphia getting market value. What's the next move for the Boston Celtics after the Kemba Walker blockbuster? New Celtics president Brad Stevens made his first blockbuster trade in that role a few weeks ago, moving off injury-plagued point guard Kemba Walker as well as a 1st-round pick for Al Horford and Moses Brown. The trade gives Boston 2 more bigs. It will also lead to speculation that veteran big man Tristan Thompson could be traded here soon. Thompson, 30, is set to count $9.71 million against the cap in 2021-22 and doesn't really have a role in Boston after the acquisitions of Horford and Brown. Perhaps he could be packaged with Marcus Smart and future picks for a starter-caliber point guard to replace Walker. Denver Nuggets are looking to extend Michael Porter Jr. Denver has a ton of off-season priorities after a disappointing exit in the Western Conference semifinals. Among them, the need to extend stud young forward Michael Porter Jr. Nuggets team president Conley spoke to that recently, indicating that it's a priority. Porter, 22, averaged 19 points and 7.3 rebounds on 45% shooting from the 3-point range during the regular season. Any extension will likely come in at $27 million annually. It's something Denver must consider during the NBA offseason. Impact of Rick Carlisle's departure on the Dallas Mavericks. Things have changed dramatically for Dallas over the past weeks. It started with the firing of longtime general manager Donnie Nelson. Then, in shocking news, head coach Rick Carlisle resigned after 13 seasons with the team. There's a significant backdrop here, with Dallas coming off a second consecutive first-round exit in the NBA playoffs. Luka Doncic is not happy with the direction of the organization and certain front office members. It's going to be very interesting to see who Dallas replaces Carlisle with and whether that caters to the Doncic, as mentioned above. Joel Embiid contract extension not in the cards? Following a historical choke job in Game 5 of their Eastern Conference semifinal series against the Atlanta Hawks, the Philadelphia 76ers are on the brink of elimination. As the #1 seed, losing in the second round of the NBA playoffs would be a major failure. It also leads to questions about how Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons will fit in with Philadelphia long term. As it relates to Embiid, he's currently playing with a torn meniscus in the knee. This could also play a role in his long-term future with the 76ers. Derek Bodner of The Athletic notes that Philadelphia could push back against signing Embiid to an extension this summer. Said deal would be valued at $190 million over 4 seasons after he earned All-NBA honors. New Orleans headed in another direction without Stan Van Gundy? The head coach was fired a couple of weeks ago after one disappointing season as New Orleans head coach. It's notable that he apparently did not see eye to eye with the team's young core. It's also notable that the Pelicans are going to have to make moves this summer in order to return to relevance on the broader NBA stage. Who New Orleans brings in to replace Van Gundy will be telling. Guards Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart are slated to become restricted free agents. There have also been some subtle rumors that front office head David Griffin might look to trade Brandon Ingram and find another running partner for star forward Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson unhappy. Reports surfaced recently that Williamson is unhappy with the direction of the Pelicans organization. Specifically, some family members want their star forward to be traded. While that's highly unlikely to be the case here over the short term, it's something worth monitoring after the Pels fired head coach Stan Van Gundy. Williamson, 20, has been absolutely brilliant in 2 seasons with the Pelicans, averaging 25.7 points, 7 rebounds, and 3.7 assists on a godlike 60% shooting from the field. Despite this, the Pelicans have not earned a playoff spot in those 2 seasons. Williamson is under contract through the 2022-23 season. Kevin Love on the move from the Cleveland Cavaliers? 5-time All-Star big man Kevin Love has been subjected to trade rumors on a near never-ending loop over the past several seasons. Now that he has 2 years and roughly $60 million remaining on his contract, a trade is more feasible than in the past. Love, 32, has played in all 113 games since the end of the 2017-18 season. He's now seen as an injury-plagued enigma. With that said, a healthy version of Love could very well help a contending team, given his ability as a stretch big. Will the Los Angeles Clippers move off Paul George? It took 7 games for Los Angeles to defeat the upstart Dallas Mavericks in the first round of the playoffs. It now faces a deficit against the Utah Jazz in the conference semifinals, with Paul George struggling big time. While he's averaging 23.1 points in the postseason, the All-Star forward is shooting a mere 43% from the field, including a 32% mark from a distance. In a Game 1 loss to Utah, he connected on 4 of 17 shots. The backdrop here is Kawhi Leonard's status as a potential pending free agent. The former NBA Finals MVP will opt out of his contract this summer. Another premature playoff exit in his second season with George could either lead to Leonard's departure or force the Clippers brass to move off recently extended George for another running partner for Kawhi. It's a major storyline with the playoffs ongoing. How Victor Oladipo injury impacts Miami Heat offseason plans. When Miami acquired All-Star guard Victor Oladipo at the trade deadline, the idea was for him to be a long-term option out on the perimeter with Jimmy Butler and Tyler Herro. Unfortunately, Oladipo played just 4 games for Miami before suffering a quad injury. Now, according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, he might be lost for the entire 2021-22 season after undergoing surgery. Slated to become a free agent, this will obviously impact Oladipo's market. It's also going to change things up for the Heat. They will have money to sign a max contract player during the summer. They are also going to have to retain restricted free agent Duncan Robinson on a deal that will likely cost $20 million annually. With Oladipo seemingly not an option for next season, Kyle Lowry might now be Miami's central focus. Time will tell on that front. The NBA will surely be heated up, and we hope the trade rumors all come up to be true. Let us know what you think of the rumors in the comment section, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. See you in the next video.